And now it's time to find out. What are the most and least reliable public transportation methods in Bangkok? How would I compare BTS, MRT, boats, buses, motorbike taxis, and tuk-tuks in terms of punctuality, reliability, and comfort? Is BTS overrated? And what's the best way to avoid being scammed when paying for transit rides in Bangkok? Stand clear of the closing doors! This video is one of my 10-chapter series exploring Bangkok, focusing on public transportation, how it works, and why it's so much fun to explore. Before we begin our ride, let me introduce myself. I'm Transit Nomad, a world traveler, business owner, music composer, filmmaker, and life coach on a mission to explore cities through the lens of public transportation. Please consider paying your fare by liking and subscribing or buying me a coffee using the link below. All aboard, let's go! Our next chapter is reliability, accountability, and customer service. Most people consider MRT subway and BTS SkyTrain to be the most reliable public transportation methods in Bangkok. But the stations and trains are often packed, especially during rush hours, and getting on the train can take a while. Sometimes you might have to skip a couple of trains before you can actually fit in. Finding a seat is hardly ever possible. And sometimes trains randomly stop for a few minutes in between stations, so you might arrive at your destination later than expected. If you have the option of taking a boat, that might be just as reliable, if not more reliable, than taking the train. I have not seen any major delays on boat lines, and it was awesome to observe so many boats running on time. With cheap prices and fast service, in my opinion, boats are underrated in Bangkok. The only issue is their limited operating hours, with most lines closing early at 6 p.m. Because of unpredictable road traffic, motorbike taxis are very popular in Bangkok, as they can go around cars, reaching your destination much faster. I have not tried this transportation method because it seems dangerous and uncomfortable, but many of my friends and locals love it. It's also very cheap, with prices for shorter trips ranging between $2 and $5. Do not mix them with tuk-tuks, which are mostly used by tourists and cost more. The least reliable public transportation method in Bangkok is buses. It's so unreliable that I recommend using it only for fun or when you are not in a rush. Because there are very few bus-only lanes with priority signaling, most buses get stuck in traffic together with cars. The frequency on most lines is unpredictable, and waiting for your specific route might take a very long time. Some drivers try to save time and keep driving in the far lane until they see you waving at them from the bus stop. Depending on the traffic situation, it may or may not be possible for them to change lanes quickly enough to pick you up. They might stop in the middle of the road, making you cross in traffic, or way past the bus stop, making you run a little, and sometimes they won't stop at all. Because there is no valid schedule or reliable bus tracking, and you don't know when exactly your bus is going to arrive, you have to stand on the edge of the road, paying close attention to every single bus that passes by to make sure you don't miss yours. Once you're on the bus, oftentimes you might find yourself wondering if walking would have been faster because of traffic jams. And if you want to get off, the driver might make you wait until the next designated stop, which in heavy traffic can take a very long time. To make a long story short, if you need to arrive at your destination on time, the last thing you want to do in Bangkok is ride a bus. The good news is that almost every driver and fare collector I've interacted with has been kind, friendly, and helpful. In general, most Thai people are very polite, welcoming, and pleasant to be around. The only exception for me was the cashier at Saturn Ferry Station. She didn't give me the change while claiming that she actually gave it to me and I already put it in my pocket. It was just 2 baht, so I let it go. But it's a pretty common scam in Bangkok to be aware of. Using exact change is the best way to avoid this kind of situation. In conclusion, considering buses, boats, and rail service, my Bangkok public transportation reliability, accountability, and customer service score is 5 out of 10. But how about overall city mobility? Is it true that walking in Bangkok is a nightmare? Doesn't the city have sidewalks and easy to navigate pedestrian crossings? Is there any infrastructure for bicycles or scooters? And what about people with strollers or disabilities? Subscribe right now and keep watching to learn all the fun and useful parts about Bangkok and its public transportation. And keep in mind that instead of waiting for short chapters to be released over time, you can support my channel and watch the entire video right now at buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad. It also comes with my Bangkok PDF guide that is simply a must-have if you plan on visiting Bangkok or consider moving there. I spent many days writing it personally after living in Bangkok for several weeks. Think about it, for the price that's lower than the cost of one cheap meal, you can make your entire trip much more smooth and enjoyable while saving yourself lots of time and money. I also offer upgrades for personal trip planning, life coaching, and business consulting, with all the details available at buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad. Our next chapter is traffic speed, infrastructure, and city mobility.